We call great shot makers straight shooters, guys like Joshua Filler, who can seemingly pocket balls from anywhere on the table. But here's the thing. Your brain doesn't actually know what straight is. Humans are asymmetrical, and we favor one eye, we favor one hand, and we play pool one-sided. It might not sound like a big deal, but it skews everything when it comes to shot making. So in this video, I'm gonna address this one element that had me missing balls over and over. And then I made this one tweak, and I finally became a decent shot maker. What I'm actually going to address here is how we look at the table objectively for shot making. And it all comes down to sighting through head position. Now, that might sound like a simple topic, but it is far more nuanced than you think. That's what became clear to me after I learned about this from Alex Lely, the guy who coached Joshua Filler. Y'all, this man drilled me, but I walked away understanding how to objectively sight in pool. And that is exactly what I am about to share. And stick around because I'm gonna share the drill that he showed me and 5 tips that have kept me shooting straighter than I ever had before. Real quick, you guys, Alex coaches using something called the sight right method. What he went over with me is just the first element of it, but it did make an enormous difference. So here's what I was doing before Alex corrected me. My vision center favors my left side. I already knew that. And by the way, finding your vision center is something that other channels have done really well, so I'm not gonna cover that here. I highly suggest going to watch Bob Keller's video on this. He's an awesome creator and he has a really good video on this. So my thinking here was that my head naturally wants to turn to the right because of my cross dominance, and it feels natural and comfortable. And if I just allow my head to stay turned throughout my whole routine, I should be good, right? The cue naturally sits more towards my left side. My brain wants to favor the left, so it should balance out. And I thought I was being smart, but that did not work out. I was consistently missing to the left. And I just couldn't figure out why my logic wasn't working. Like everything looked dead straight as I was sighting this way. And I didn't understand what the problem really was, but it wasn't about vision center. It was that turning your head like that encourages uneven sighting. Most of us, when it comes to checking the pocket line and then standing behind the shot line, we kind of just look at it. Even if we feel like we're really focusing, visualizing the contact point or ghost ball, fractions, feel, whatever your aiming system is, we don't really think about how we're looking at it. We just look. And if you're like me and you thought you were smart, turning your head the same way that you get down, you're not really seeing it objectively. Same goes for when you're looking at it square and then while you get down, turning your head while you shoot. That's not objective sighting. Objectivity, by definition, means lack of favoritism towards one side or the other. Freedom from bias. It's not like we walk around in our daily life with our head turned to the side. That's just not how we naturally observe the world. I mean, there are studies that show that humans do communicate and think while turning their heads, but when it comes to pure observation, we actually look at things head on. Now keep in mind, I'm not talking about tilting your head like ear to shoulder. I'm talking about swiveling it to the left or right. Look, I'm not an expert here, but there are plenty of players that still tilt their head while they're playing. Filler is actually one of them, and he sights the ball the way that I'm going to explain here. So let's isolate the attention to just the head turn. When we turn our heads while playing pool, our brain is not getting a clean, neutral read on the lines in front of us. I mean, the very first correction that Alex gave me was this. When you're sighting the shot, get your body square to the shot line. Feet, hips, shoulders perpendicular. Vision center over the pinpoint line of aim with your face square to the shot, not turned. Now hold on a second, Nate, that's obvious. Yes, and that's what I thought too. And then we went a little deeper. You guys, this is the single most aha moment that really changed my understanding of this topic. As a right-handed player, when the shot I'm about to shoot has me positioned with the table towards my left, my body naturally stays somewhat sideways to the shot. Subconsciously, I favor my body position in a way to move less while preparing to sight the ball. And this effect is actually more prominent when I walk around the table counterclockwise. I am already favoring my left, shooting with my left side in the front. The table is on my left and I just feel comfortable. And because I feel so comfortable, I don't notice that I'm not actually squaring up to the shot line properly. And even when I was consciously trying to stand square to the shot line when cutting a ball to the left, I still could not adequately square it up. I had to watch footage of myself doing it wrong for me to actually believe it. So it wasn't a coincidence that I kept missing balls to the left, because my body was subconsciously turning to the right every time. But then on right cut shots, with the table to my right or walking clockwise around the table, my body was forced to turn past perpendicular to the shot line. Being right-handed, I was able to square up more naturally for the shots cutting to the right. That motion naturally brought me more square to the shot line, and I was subconsciously sighting it better without even thinking about it. And this is all because of where I was standing around the table. This is not something I had heard before, and it genuinely blew my mind. It was like a light switch came on, and it wasn't random, it was completely predictable. But predictable means fixable. Real quick, you guys, if you're finding value in this, hear me out. If you want to be more focused and locked in with your sighting like I'm talking about, seriously try Keto Brains in your coffee. It's a creamer stacked with nootropics that supercharge and focus your brain. You guys, it's a game changer for playing pool. Code Sensei gets you 20% off. Check the link or just scan the code. Okay, back to it. So to diagnose what was going on with my sighting, Alex showed me the spot shot draw drill. It is the very first thing that we ever worked on. And he actually goes over this very same drill with Niels Fine on his channel while he was preparing for a tournament. You put the object ball on the spot, cue ball on the head string, one ball off of the rail, just like a normal spot shot. But the difference here between a typical spot shot is that the goal is to draw the cue ball to the side rail and out before the cue ball ever makes contact with the short rail. This forces you to put a good stroke on the ball, and it amplifies any errors in the hit, in the alignment, in the sighting. And it's a great stroke checker. The aiming is simple. It's a half ball hit, center of the cue ball to the outside edge of the object ball. You don't have to think about the aim, which means that all of your attention gets to go to sighting, alignment, and cueing. You alternate sides every shot, keeping track of successes and failures, and you note which sides of the pocket you miss when you miss. And this is where you find out if you're objectively sighting the ball well. If something is off, you are going to know from this drill. Now, the reason this is different than something like the Mighty X drill is because when you alternate cut shots like this, it forces you to square up again and again from ground zero after walking from one side of the table to the other. Now take a look at my head position. I know I am not perfect. I'm not perfectly dead on straight, but I am a lot better than I used to be, and it has made a big difference. So just know that I am working on this actively, and that is one of the reasons why I'm making this video. This is part of my journey, and I think making videos like this, where we get to discuss what is actually working for us, that's how we all get better. And this table is actually very tough to do this drill on, but you can see me working through it, trying to square up to the shot line every single time. And that intention alone starts to build a more consistent sight line. Now, I'll admit this drill might not be for every amateur player. If you struggle to strike the cue ball with good tip accuracy, you could find yourself really struggling with this drill, but it doesn't mean you can't try it. Because in reality, this is probably the most honest drill I have ever practiced, and I still do it all the time. So you might be asking yourself, how do I actually make sure that I am square to the shot? So here's 5 quick tips that have kept me shooting straighter than I ever had before doing this drill. 1, take a few steps away from the shot line. For me, it helps to walk past the shot line and then come back, especially while cutting to the left. That way I have to turn my body towards square instead of just starting sideways. Now, obviously this could be different for you depending on what hand you shoot with, what your vision center is, what your natural tendencies are, etc. 2, move your head side to side, dialing in the line of aim. Actually, Charivari made a good video about this where he goes over Moritz Newhouse's habit of very clearly doing this on the shot line. And if you like, you can actually practice this, just lining your body up over the rail grooves for easier reference. It's very easy to do, and it is super helpful. 3, try holding your cue perpendicular to the shot line, in line with your toes, hips, and your shoulders. You can also try to make sure that your navel is pointed towards the shot line by sticking your cue out from your center. That's a little less objective, but it does help you orient your body correctly. 4, experiment with which leg you stand on or what side you favor in your weight shifting. This really helped me dial in making sure that the left side of my face was actually fully facing the shot line. And 5, you guys, this one is huge. Do not worry about prescriptively keeping your back foot on the line of the shot. This is a practice that almost every instructor will tell you is a necessary step for good fundamentals, but it can actually get in the way of sighting because while it may lead to easier clearance over the shot line, it encourages aligning your body towards the side and uncomfortably snaking your torso and your head to get on the shot line, and it's just kind of uncomfortable to sight this way. So worry less about keeping your foot there and more about finding ways to move your body around to get more clearance while you're keeping your head naturally sighting the ball as you get down. I don't have an exact movement here that's going to work for you. We're all different, okay? Just experiment. Now keep in mind here, something I say all the time, description over prescription. We want to look for the qualities that are going to improve your game, not just look for blind instruction that is going to universally work for everyone. And that includes anything that I say. So if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. That's fine. This is just my explanation of what has changed my shot making that worked for me, and it was presented in this way. Look, I know this is a lot of nuance for something that seems like it should just be easy and obvious, but that is the thing about this game. The habits that cost us racks can very often be the elements of this game that we take for granted. It's the quiet ones that we never thought to question that can be game changing. I chased a better stroke for years, better aim, better fundamentals, and what finally moved the needle on shot making for me was understanding how to sight the ball objectively in the first place. It was visual, it wasn't physical, and it was something that I took for granted. If this has helped you think about shot making any differently, like and subscribe. I will take any support I can get because it takes a lot to make these videos. And drop a comment if you heard something here that is either new to you or if I missed something. I do read everything and I would love to talk to you in the comments. Thanks for watching. Happy shooting.